So let's talk about media. So is the media the enemy of the people, as Donald Trump says? Well, let me start when I came to this country, escaped communism for the second time in 1989. I barely spoke English. So there was only really three media: ABC, CBS, NBC, and then you had your papers and CNN. And so, I like to watch the news, see what's going on. And the more I started to understand English, I actually became horrified of what I was hearing in the news. Because me growing up in communism really was socialism run by the dictatorship of the Communist Party. I knew propaganda, I knew the language, I knew what's behind it and what it means, and I was just horrified that the media here in the United States was pushing socialism. Yes, overtly, under the radar, not so obvious, but I could see it very plainly as day. And I was like, in America, what in the world is going on? Reading newspapers, Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, New York Times, same thing. I was like, what in the world is going on that the United States, the media is promoting socialism? Something that I escaped from and gave up everything to get away from, to be free. So the more, of course, I learned, I realized what the media is all about. That it is leftist, it is pushing socialism, an agenda. They're not reporting the news, just report it and have your own opinion, or pushing an opinion. They're indoctrinating you. And so I really just stopped watching the news and stopped reading newspapers, just read the sports section and went about my life. But of course, seeing what was happening in this country, I just couldn't stand the sidelines when I had all the experience and the knowledge. So, so I started learning even more. And then, you discover that all the media is owned by corporations. So whose interest do you think that the media is looking out after? Yours, as the viewer, as the media is supposed to be, just report on what's going on so you are an informed citizen, a voter, or even a green card holder, as I was, so you know what's going on and you can make your decisions? Or are they pushing an agenda that benefits them, that is against you? Well, and the answer is obvious. They are pushing their own agenda. You don't matter, and they're indoctrinating you. And the corporations, of course, own all these media organizations, so they're looking out for their own interest, and which again is to control you. So the First Amendment gives the media so much protection and power because they are supposed to work for us and supposed to keep corporations and our government in check, so they can't do bad, evil stuff to us under the radar, and they're supposed to be exposing it, keeping us informed. Well, when you have like Bezos, owning Washington Post, and now during the pandemic, of course, the pandemic, it's a great thing, right? What are all these big corporations about? It's about to kill the competition. It's about to kill you, the small business owner, the mom and pop shop, what you have worked your whole life and put your whole savings into, or, second, third generation. So you're an inconvenience, because if you're free and if you're prosperous, you cannot be controlled. So your prosperity needs to be taken away. So your business and your means of living has to be taken away. And then you have to be dependent on the government. So then the government can tell you what to do. For you to keep getting some money, you have to keep coming to them. It's an old trick. So pandemic is a great tool. Look what happened. All the small businesses had to close, all of them, but all the big ones could be open. So Walmart, Amazon, all the box stores, their profits went through the roof. Their sales went through the roof because you could go shop there. Okay, so you have to go online. You cannot go, like I'm a small business owner, me and my wife own a small store. We had to be shut down. So it's a great way to eliminate, kill the competition, make them even more rich and more powerful. So what do you think, like the pandemic is all about? It's not about your health, it's about control. It is about destroying you, destroying your freedom, destroying your prosperity, so then you can be controlled, and the media is the culprit in it. And yes, therefore the media is the enemy of the people, because they're not looking out for you. And I was when I discovered, of course, all of this before the pandemic, I knew what it's all about. I was disheartened that nobody challenges the media. No, of course, the Democrats didn't need to challenge the media because they're in the tank together. They want to take over, control your every step, your everyday life, what you cannot do, what you must do. No different than when I was in communism, what the Communist Party was doing to us. That's what the Democratic Party wants to do to you. So they're not going to hold them accountable. And the Republicans are always such a little wusses that they would never challenge the media, because then they were called racist or bigots, all kinds of names, or they were afraid, they wanted to be friends with the media so they get exposure. And I was like, for crying out loud, is finally somebody gonna come and challenge the media? I mean, Bush, George W. Bush, all the abuse he took from the media, and he never fought back against the media. And it was discouraging. I was praying for somebody to come to finally take on the media. And Donald Trump came. And he did it and is doing it in a big way. And you should support that instead of going against him, because he is fighting for all of you. He is fighting for what the media should be, and he is calling them out for the fakes that they are. So yes, is the media the enemy of the people? Absolutely it is, because they're deceiving you for one purpose: to control you. And even things that you would think are conservative, like Fox News. Fox News is what I call a controlled opposition. Yes, there are good people on there. There are people that will tell you some of the truth, because of course they're not allowed to tell you everything. And when somebody comes along that starts getting a little deeper into what is really going on, then eventually Fox News will get rid of them. So one of the first ones that was there really exposing all the connection what's going on was Glenn Beck. And he had high ratings. Of course, what came next? Boycotts and everything, and next thing he was pushed out of Fox News. Unfortunately, Glenn Beck then went off the rocker. He didn't understand who Trump is. And that's okay, a lot of people didn't. I didn't support Trump in the beginning because I didn't trust him, because he was a left-wing New York liberal, his whole life supporting abortion and all of those things. But he did change, and he really is doing great work. Now you have Tucker Carlson, but how long is he going to last? Who knows? But so Fox News, and they bring every liberal, communist, on their shows and on their programming, giving their opinion. Can't trust them. And as I said, the hosts are limited with what they can do and what can they expose. And of course, definitely, the owners of Fox News are not to be trusted because they are left-wing as well. They are only pretending to be the opposition because it is for money, and it is an appearance that you do have a choice. But they will not give you the meat, the real deep connections and everything, only on the surface. So don't trust the media. There are some small outlets, or internet. Of course, you can't trust everything on the internet, but question everything. And one way to solve the media, and I hope that President Trump wins and he will do something about it, is to outlaw that a news organization can be owned by a for-profit or even non-profit corporation organization that has an agenda. And every non-profit and every for-profit corporation has an agenda. Media needs to be totally independent If they want to keep their protection under the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, to serve us as people, they need to be independent. Don't be a useful idiot. Wake up. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe and click on the notification bell.